Um, you know, in a relationship, when you're trying to control somebody, say if you're in a relationship with a man and you're trying to control how he goes out with his friends or who he talks to on the phone or anything like that, it's because there's a lack of trust there. There's a lack of trust for them, but also from yourself. And usually it deals with your past, and other things as well. So like that's a clear-cut example as control in a relationship where you're trying to control somebody else so that you don't get hurt. All right. So we feel as though if we have control, if they just do what we say will not hurt us if they do that, right? So if they don't go out, then they can't cheat on us, right? But lo and behold, working at the jail, there's a nurse at the jail, cheats on you anyway. Okay. But when you try to, that was my life experience. Anyway, if you didn't catch that. But when you try to control somebody, it's because you don't trust them and you've got that guard up. You've got that wall up from past situations. So we need to kind of just realize that if someone's going to treat us bad or do something bad to us, it's going to happen regardless whether we're controlling or not. And when we try to control, it actually hurts us because we spend so much time in that energy of basically control, which is going to lower your vibration because you're worrying about, like, are they listening to you? If they do the slightest thing that goes against what you're saying, it's like that aggravation, the resentment, the anger comes up. So when you kind of just let go and just accept people for who they are and just let them do what they're going to do, they show you their true colors, then it's your choice whether you keep them in your life or not. Okay, so that's one instance when we're trying to control somebody. Now, on the other aspect of this, a lot of us will try to control situations and our circumstances around us. So I know a lot of it is like cleaning the house. Like everything needs to be neat, everything needs to be tidy, because if it's not, we start to get a little bit anxious, right? Everything is not good. So you can see, like, I don't really care. But, you know, so when you learn to let go of those things, and the reason we do that is because we feel as though, and I always say it's like validation for us. So when we feel like we are in control, we feel good about ourselves. Does that make sense with you guys? Right? So when you try to control every situation in your life, it's exhausting. It's exhausting. And it lowers your vibration. When you can let go of the control and just, you know, trust in the universe and trust that whatever's about to happen is going to happen regardless, you can actually let go of that energy, and you can start to focus on different things. You can start to remain to be present in the situation. So we have to realize where that control comes from. So, you know, control in relationships and everything, that's probably most likely because you've been hurt in the past. You know, you've been cheated on in the past. So therefore, it's really hard to trust somebody going forward. Control issues in, say, cleanliness, say even in, if you have your own business, because I know some of you on here have your own business, like trying to control every aspect of if somebody's liking or engaging in your stuff. Just when you're trying to control so much stuff, you're actually trying to force it, and you get completely out of alignment. Rather, if you just do what feels good when it feels good. So if you like to be clean, like, you know, obviously I'm a clean person, but I don't focus on it 100% of the day. When I have some time and I'm like, okay, I'm going to clean the house today, right? But it's not an everyday occurrence that I do this because I ain't got the time for that, right? And I don't focus on it that much. So therefore, when you can let go of that need to control. Now, the other thing I want to bring up is sometimes when you are in so much control, it's because you've grown up that way. Two reasons there. One is because maybe you grew up with a parent that was very controlling, so you learned to be controlling. You learned that everything had to be a certain way, everything had to be exactly how they said it was going to be. So there's that aspect. And then another aspect in your past that can lead to this control, quote unquote, issues, I'll say, is that somewhere in your past you were completely out of control and it did not feel good. So I want you to think about that right now before we go into this energy healing session, and ask yourself, like, where were you out of control? Was there abuse in the home? Maybe your mother and father, maybe it was an abusive relationship and you saw this and you felt like you had no control over it. You know, maybe it was something that happened to you. Maybe you were abused as a child, sexually or physically, emotionally, and you had no control over it. When we go through things in the past like that, we feel the need to be able to control everything so that we don't feel the way that we felt when we were out of control. All right, so I want you to think about that, everything that I just kind of like talked to you about here. And I want you to kind of bring that to the surface as we go into this energy healing session, to kind of release the need to hold on to anymore in order to control everything. But yeah, when you let go of that control, it's like you wake up and it's like you don't feel like you have to do everything. And believe me, I have people like that. And it's like, just stop and like just relax and just breathe and like just like chill, right? So you do feel free when you let go of this control. But the first thing in order to let go is to realize where it comes from, is to be awareness, bring awareness as to why we feel this way and why we do this. All right, go ahead and get comfortable. And take a deep breath in. And let it out. And take another deep breath in. And go ahead and let that out. We're going to call Archangel Michael in today to help us really cut the cords of needing this control and really realize that it's not serving us anymore, and to really release it. So let him be by your side today. Right? And whatever thoughts come in, just let them come in and let them flow out. Here we go. deep breath in. And let it out. And take another deep breath in, give your body a nice stretch. And go ahead and let that out. All right, so I wrote down a bunch of things and they're all like kind of questions and affirmations and stuff. So I'm just gonna read you what I wrote really quickly. So I wrote this last, but I'm going to say it first. And basically, I want you to ask yourself the question of why does it have to be your way? Okay. And then the second question is, what if there was a different way? So again, a lot of the times we're taught things as we grow up and we think that that's the only way, but somebody else was taught something completely different. So why is your way the only way? And you really just have to think about that. Think about that. And then I wrote up here, what would happen if you just let go? So when you're in that moment of controlling, I want you to ask yourself these three questions. What would happen if you just let go? If you didn't need to control? And then the second one would be, will this matter in a year from now? So say, for instance, you're stressed out because your house is a mess and you got to do laundry, but then you have work to do and you got kids and all of this stuff. So you have to ask yourself, like, will that load of laundry matter in a year from now? Like, will it matter so much that you've got to get mad at your child or, you know, because you're stressed out because of the laundry in the house? Like, will that stuff matter in a year from now? Ask yourself these questions when you start to feel that pressure, I'll say. And then what's more important, this or me? So there's a lot of times that I just have to let go of the control because I know, like, say for instance, like I've got a lot of work to do, but like I know that I'm more important than the work that needs to be done. And I know and trust in the universe that when I take care of me first, when I go out and I go for a walk or I go exercise or do something for me to raise my vibration, all of that will just flow later on. Instead of me trying to get all that done being pressured and stressed, I can get it done in a more in a better vibration, I would say. So ask yourself that question, like, what's more important, this or me? Okay. And then these are kind of like, I won't call them affirmations because they're really not in the affirmation format. But these are kind of the things as I went through all of our chakras, like this is what I was hearing. Okay. So starting with the root, I'm not going to go through all the chakras, but I wrote down 4 things here. So you are safe with, hold on, I got to see what I wrote here. Oh, okay. You are safe with or without this control. So think about that when, again, you're feeling that tenseness come on. I open my heart without the need to control. I use my words to communicate, not to control. And I see things clearly and I am safe. So those are 4 things that I wrote down today when I was going through the root chakra of what I heard. All right, so I hope that helps you. I hope that makes sense. All right, much love to all of you. Thank you so much for being here and have a great week. Bye, guys.